Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is an episode of Kerbal Engineering, and today I will be showing how to build a warp-capable rescue lander that you can see on this picture. Okay, so what makes it so attractive? Why the rescue lander? Well, it's simple. In one of my previous episodes, I was trying to launch a Duna refueling tanker rover, which due to some ill-advised driving by yours truly, has marooned Chuck Kerman, Ikrit Kerman, and Wilhaf Tarkin Kerman successfully on Duna. So they're basically marooned, and then I have tried to launch the lander, basically taking, making a suborbital hop, and basically that didn't work out as planned either. So now I have to design some sort of a rescue lander, and that rescue lander has to meet several requirements. The first one being it has to be high delta V, because it needs to get to Duna, it needs to basically be able to land, it needs to take off, etc. Second, it needs to be warp capable. Now, as I said, it will take time until this lander is built, and time is a resource I don't have, or more likely Ikrit, Chuck, and Wilhaf Tarkin don't have. They have roughly 1 year of life support or 2 years of life support, but the main problem with that 2 years of life support is that they simply cannot survive that long, and by the time I built a lander and wait for a good transfer window and then ship it off to Duna, it would already be past that mark. So that's why I have decided to go, shoot straight for Duna, go with a warp-capable lander, and then hopefully circularize and land using the Karborundrum engines. And Karborundrum has a very high ISP, so I'm not overly concerned in terms of basically our fuel consumption, or, Now, okay, let's go to the construction. I have found the Mark III cargo bay, which is actually quite handy for storing this dinky 0.625 warp drive, or Alcubierre drive. So I have attached a little bit of life support, enough to support one Kerbal, and the big balut that you can see underneath is actually it's actually inline balutes. It's a mod that I have been testing in my previous builds, and I have successfully tested it at least once, but it was off camera, so I just wanted to see that mod is working. But the point of these is deploying a big donut-shaped balloons, or let's say parachutes, very high in the atmosphere, Duna's atmosphere, that would have an enormous amount of drag that would hopefully decelerate this lander in the higher layers of the atmosphere, so we don't need to use the heat shields, because I suck when it comes to return trajectories with heat shields. It's just something that I'm very bad at. So, to circumvent that problem, I'm rather using balut rather than a heat shield. Okay, now, as you can see, this lander is it has a lander, or a capsule, with a factor for 3 Kerbals. Then we have some battery, then we have cargo bay, then we have balut, and then we have some life support. So now I am trying to find a suitable, let's just call this Duna Rescue Lander Warp Mark 1. Okay, cool. Now I'm looking for the side attachment points, because on the side I cannot design a warp capable lander if any of my components will be getting out of the warp bubble. So I have a length and width and breadth constriction. So this has to be really small. But still, it needs to be able to house a couple of Kerbals. So this is the design that I've been playing with, as you can see. And so all I need to do is I need to find the correct piece. And so it's radial stack adapter. We can put 2 here. Perfect. So after that we want to be putting then container cluster. You will see me guys putting here a single pair of container clusters, but actually I will be putting 2 of them. And now I'm just putting resources because I want to test how much delta V it would have. But as I said, in the actual playthrough I have put dual because during my testing phase this lander, while working perfectly well, didn't have enough delta V to successfully circularize around Duna. So yeah. Okay, now I'm turning the Alcubierre drive to look a little bit exotic. Now we have 2 fission reactors and we need 2 radiator cooler panels that will be cooling them. And I want to be putting, I think, medium active. Or no, a large. Can I put a large? Yes, I can. Okay, great. They should be able to cool them both in atmosphere and outside, so that's why I wanted to attach something like that. Okay, then let's put a couple of RTGs. Somewhere here, perhaps? Okay, let's see. With the Karborundrum, it says that it has 28,000 delta V. Okay, perhaps. But once fully loaded, well, who knows. We also need to add some monoprop. And I'm trying to put small components because currently when we are designing this ship, this is a very, very old footage, by the way. It has been done way before even before I managed to land Karborundrum on the surface of Kerbin. So this ship will be designed, rather than taking the Karborundrum from the Kerbin rover, it will be designed to actually go dock successfully with the refueling station in low Kerbin orbit, get Karborundrum from there, and then be on its merry way going to Duna. So, okay, let's try and find us a couple of landing legs. Okay, these might be overkill. Yeah. Let's find something else. Oh, and those look nice, actually. Yeah, these could work. So I want to be using more of those. This is the landing strut, so I think I will be using a bunch of these extra. So let's put them like this. Let's make sure that all of them are on the same height, roughly. Let's put them like 4 of them here, and then we will be moving them upwards. We move you guys downwards a little bit, and then we move you 4 upwards. Something along these lines. Yeah, to me that looks stable enough for a lander. Great. So that's roughly our lander. Now we have a couple of more things to do. Now it definitely wouldn't be a lander if I didn't use the parachutes, right? So balut we already have. but I want to be putting parachutes. And just to make sure to check our staging. Okay, I think that looks about right. Body Duna. Okay, cargo bay close. Let's set up action groups. 5 we put cargo bay open. Then we need to balance our craft. So, actually before that we need to attach some chutes, right? Chutes to the capsule itself as well. So let's pull 30,000 and 2,000 when it comes to applying. Cool. Then let's just fix the amount of chutes that we have. Let's increase it in size. Yes, I know. And I will be putting one, hold on. Yeah, like this. 3 of them here, and then another 3 here. Great. That should be 6. I mean, we're fortunate enough that we can spam the chutes in KSP. And let's see if I can put some chutes over there as well. Just to be on the safe side. Good. You know, when I come to think of it, it doesn't really look that nice. Okay, am I happy with it? Possibly. Okay, let's just then put the landing legs. Great. Let me see, what else do we have? Now I need the SAS control unit. And then I need the Rcs Thrusters. So let's put the initial thruster block here. And then the other thrusters should go somewhere at the bottom. This is, by the way, guys, how you balance it stage by stage. So as you can see now, I have tried to minimize so that the thrusters that I have should be working once this lander will be on its own docking. So you have to plan very far ahead. So this would be at the point when we have already landed on Duna and then coming back to Kerbal. So once again, checking our action groups. Designing such ships for such complex missions is a little bit of a tedious process and you have to be very thorough, but then again, I mean, since I'm an engineer, I actually enjoy engineering things. It's actually very fun for me. And testing always goes fun, that you never know what to expect, especially the first time you launch such a craft. So yeah. Okay, once again double checking everything. We want to have arm the drive, deploy, start, whatever. Shoots, making sure that the chute we have also on the action group to fire and to cut if needed. And let's simulate. Body, Duna, altitude 100 kilometers. Right, off to the simulation we go. First we want to be starting the reactors, starting the radiators to cool the reactor, and then we want to be starting the Karborundrum drives and go for the deorbit. This is just a test to see that everything would survive, so... Okay, I said the periapsis for 30,000 meters, which for Duna is still a little bit higher atmosphere. Right. Okay, so I guess now we are coming up for the time for the reentry test. Let's see how that will be going. Okay, so let's see. This is the goal where we should be landing towards. Okay, well, if it would be according to the trajectories, our, craft is very sleek, but once we deploy the balut, we should see a decline in our orbital velocity. Now we are already in the atmosphere. Very high level, but still... Oh, and these ones are braking. Oh boy. Look at that. Look at that speed dropping, and we are already suborbital. Jeez Louise. Hell yeah. So as you can see, we are dropping beautifully. Look at that estimated target marker go. We were hoping to just fly over everything, but it's really stopping. Wow. The sheer rate at which this one is bringing us to a halt is just amazing. Okay, let's cut the balut. Turning retrograde. Okay, and now we will be decelerating ever so slightly. Before actually engaging, So slightly engaging the thrusters just to make sure that we decelerate and we can activate our chutes. Hitting the chutes. And basically I know that we can actually stop, but I'm just curious in terms of, okay, popping down the wheels. I want to be seeing at what speed will we be hitting the ground. Oh boy. Wow. Okay, well, I'd still call this a successful test. Followed by the fun factor. Okay. Never mind. However, it was still a successful test. We have successfully landed. That just to me tells that I'll have to have a slightly powered landing. Okay. Never mind that. Let's just put that deployment altitude for the chutes can be a little bit higher, so that actually we can deploy the chutes earlier. Okay. Now let's see. Now I want to be putting a stack decoupler, and then I want to be constructing the stage that will be taking us to the orbital station, Kerbal Orbital Refueling Station. I could actually just put a big rocket and make sure that we go there, and then dock with a lander, but I don't know. I'm not particularly sold on maneuvering with a big ass rocket. And yeah, our delta V is just enough to get us orbital, but not to get us where we want to go. So let's see if we can actually add 2 of the liquid boosters. Or shall we put solids? This actually might be nice for a change. You know, SRBs are fun. Let's check our staging. Okay, launch clamps. Let's do the test. And we shoot off. We have a lot of solids. The thrust weight is pretty insane on those two, by the way. And coming up to the booster separation. Very nice. Continuing on our main stage, or ascent stage. Coming up to the 100 kilometer, and I just want to basically see that I can successfully circularize and roughly, you know, see that with some safety margin to be able to maneuver successfully. So let's see. For this testing I do have Karborundrum on board, but once we will be actually going, we won't have Karborundrum, because our scientists say Karborundrum is a precious resource, it's very hard to produce, and in lab environment we were able to produce it previously on the Kerbal Orbital Lab in cyclotrons, which actually went broke, so yeah. Okay, we have a fission reactor over here. Okay, kicking the gas. We have 1200 to burn and 1000 in our main stack, so we will actually have a little less than I planned. I mean, here it's not a problem, we have Karborundrum drives, but I cannot count on them if they're empty. Let's see. Yep, and as you can see, we are 80 meters per second short of the actual orbit, and not even mention the need we need to have for getting into the station. So that would be another like 400 or 500 just to be on the safe side. Beautiful, and now I'm just burning for the 1000 kilometer magic mark, because the reason why I want to get there is to test the Alcubierre drive, of course. Okay, drive secure, everything seems to be looking fine. Now it's just a time of coasting up to the apoapsis and testing the Karborundrum drives. Or, sorry, Alcubierre drive. Right, okay, so accelerating until we get to the decent altitude and just kicking the warp drive and everything seems fine. Okay, so that's a successful test. Now we need to actually work a little bit more on the getting to the station itself. So I need a regular conventional tank. First let's put a decoupler underneath. And then I want to be using a single. Let's put some small, you know, just fuel tank and be none the wiser, shall we? Where is my low profile engine? Or I could be using these guys. These are actually very fuel efficient. How does it look? Wow, 174. Didn't see that one coming. You know what? Forget it. I need a bigger tank and I need a bigger thruster. Let's see. What can we do on that subject? We can take this. Tank, actually. Liquid fuel oxidizer. No, that's wrong. Let's take this one. Liquid fuel oxidizer. That's the one. Okay. And then I want to be putting an engine beneath it. The low profile. I think it's called Atlas or something. I just wanted to check if it's under the fuel tanks. Oh, and actually I could be putting 2 fuel tanks on the side as well. Yeah. And then I want to be putting engines. Where are my Terriers? Okay, 2 Terriers, and then I want to be putting 1 Atlas, I believe. Fuel lines that will be feeding into those 2 engines, sure. And there we go, Atlas low profile engine, perfect. So now everything seems to be set correctly to staging, so we'll just attach the bottom part, see how it behaves. Let's strut the 2 and see how it goes. Strutting a little bit because, you know, strutting is important. Make sure that, we are using the docking port, and usually when you're using docking port to stage, well, not to stage, but connecting to the stack decoupler, or even worse, another docking port, you might be getting the noodle effect. Sorry. Okay. Sorry for that yawn. It's late in the evening and I'm recording this obviously just to make sure that I could air it sometime soon. And yeah, so let's revise our tanks actually. I want to be putting some monoprop here because that stage will be docking, so that means we need to balance it out using the RCS build aid as well. So 2 tanks are over there, and now I want to be adding as many engines as humanly possible while still retaining that the craft being balanced. Okay, looks good enough to me. So we might want to test it. Simulate. Okay, time to test the launcher and everything. 3, 2, 1, throttle to max, and ooh. I just need to actually add thrust to weight and thrust to weight surface. Okay, just fixing my engineer. Okay, we are ready for launch. Throttle to max, SAS on, and let's hit the stage. Shooting off like a rocket once again. Thrust to weight, we are around 2-ish. And once again, similar approach. Also accelerated, guys. I want to be testing, see how much we will need. Alright. 10 seconds for boosters. And booster separation. Success. Time to burn for the apoapsis, followed by the circularization burn. In theory, we should have way more delta V now. Not, well, way more, but enough to get us docked with the space station. Our apoapsis is climbing, and it's now at 100. Awesome. Let's add a maneuver node. Something along these lines. Let's point the craft maneuver prograde, and we have a total of 1,484 to burn. Alright, we are lined up, and node is coming in 58 seconds. Okay, 42, 41, and the moment we start getting regular ticks on the better burn time, we should be going and burn. Now I regret taking away the Kerbal Engineer. Yeah. I'm actually missing the current and delta V. Oops. Okay, and now we on this stage have for 500 meters per second, which is good enough. Okay, so far it seems so good, so let's install the delta V current and let's, well, delta V stage maybe not stage, delta V current I prefer. Yeah, I mean this looks normal, cool. Still burning, and then we'll be circulating. Okay, but we saw that it looks fine. Then I want to make sure that I can actually add another tank. See if that would work. I hate the design of it, actually. Can we put this fat chubby guy? Yeah, you see, I don't like it that much. That's the problem. This would be a hard sell. Nope, let's find something else. Shall I put the liquid boosters then? Because those tend to last much longer. Let's see, we need to find a good decoupler. Okay, something like that. Looks plausible. And then I'll be putting two, I think, like mainsails. That should hopefully be enough to push us out. Oh, we could be putting hurricanes here instead of mainsails. So let's put it somewhere around here. Now let's put the decouplers over here. And then we put the big ones, big tanks, because that's the thing, I want a lot of fuel in those tanks. And in that case, if I'm using 3.75, I might as well be using rhinos. See? Much better. Okay, 3.6 thousand meters per second looks good enough to me. Okay, let's put some fuel lines. You will be feeding from these into the main tank, which is good because then main tank will be able to burn longer. Let's put some ullage motors, because, you know, decoupling. Last time when we decoupled, we actually, when pressing the gas, everything exploded, so yeah. Ullage motors are our friend in this case. Alright, time for another test. Throttle max and let's hit it. So far very stable because we can actually control the speed at the ascent. Ooh, slightly going to the wrong side. Okay, let's fix that quickly. I mean, not much to see here. This looks very well, but I just want to see what would be my delta V once we actually get into the orbit. Okay. It seems that our lander is performing beautifully. It's just a matter of, you know, fine tweaks and making sure that every single aspect that you want to be playing with is tested. Booster separation. Okay, we have a total of 2000 delta V in this main stage, so plenty to circularize. Okay, let's turn it a little bit because, you know, pretty picture. I'm sorry, my English is more broken than usual today, so it seems. Okay, let's just point the maneuver prograde. Just remember, this is just a simulation, so nothing happens if push comes to shove. (1,134 meters per second to burn for a successful circularization. And our node is coming in 40 seconds, which means in roughly 10 seconds we will be burning. And kicking the gas. At first I was thinking running on full throttle, then I was deliberating a little bit, and then I'm now thrusting at, well, full throttle, simply say. 200 meters per second. And roughly we should be orbital any second. Okay, 100 by 79. Small tweaks can perform that we get it roughly 99 by 100, and that's good enough for me. See? These ullage motors really do make the difference. And now we have a total of 527 delta V, although our thrust weight is crappy. It's 0.3, so that means we have to plan all of our maneuverable nodes well ahead. Okay, and now just testing the Karborundrum engines. As like I said, this is a test, and while we're testing we can actually simulate that we're using Karborundrum. Okay, to me that looks like a pretty successful test, so let's revert back to the editor. Okay, so final set of adjustments. I just want to make sure that I have ladders for Kerbals when they actually land to be able to get in and get out of this bloody vessel. So some steps here. I don't want to be obstructing the command pod exit. Okay, there is a first set of stairs that I can actually modify a little bit. Okay, these angle of these ladders needs to go. Okay, and now we need to move the ladders. Okay, let's put this on a stage action group, and I was thinking somewhere along 6 or 4 actually, to extend all the ladders, because it would be nice. Imagine you land and you just press the key and all ladders open. That's just amazing. You don't have to right click and, you know, do the immersion breaking stuff. So yeah, in this game planning ahead definitely pays off. Okay, cool. So this looks really cool. So let's attach an info drive and write up what we are up to. So one would be toggle Karborundrum drives to start the reactor and radiators. 3 toggle Alcubierre drive. 4 toggle ladder. 5 cargo bay. 6, what did we say about 6? Yeah, docking port shield. Deploy parachutes, deploy balloons, cut balloon, and I guess it would be one more. Toggle landing legs. Yeah, that's what we wanted to do initially. Cool. Okay guys, so if you like the episode, I will be continuing with more in the future. Thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.